She feels full after 6 or 7 bites. Now, if this video was about somebody who weighed, let's say, 67 pounds, 6'7" or so, and she said, I eat about 6 or 7 bites per meal, what would you say?
Not gonna lie, it be a lot of the fat hoes talking. You fat just need to shut the fuck up. On God.
This is a brain rot special.
Tiamatich cooking in the basement. There's chemical imbalance, there's mental issues and struggles, there's physical struggles, so many reasons why people can't lose weight. And it's not just lack of willpower.
That's exactly what it is. You're not full. You're hungry. And so you don't have the willpower to put the fork down, to stop eating, to say no to the candies, the pizza, etc. That is the exact reason, because you have more fat cells, more ghrelin. It makes you hungrier than most people. And so you feed that itch to eat. And so when you take Tirzepatide or Ozempic, it reduces that itch. It reduces the food noise. It basically turns you into a normal skinny person. Most people who are skinny, they don't have to resist those types of cravings.
I started the GLP-1 at the smallest dose. Full disclosure that I do work with Ro, but I have been working with them for years before I started it. But it is very simple. Again, this feels like talking points because I do commercials for them and stuff like that. But
yeah, I make ads, but so what? I don't care if she makes ads. I make ads all the time. How many times have I said to buy my freaking cookbook in this video? And so she says she started at the lowest dose. Now, I'm not a doctor, but this is my problem with the pharmaceutical industry. Like, there are horrible people out there. They've been caught in certain lies. And so do you really think that the lowest dose is low enough?
What is drugs?
Let me ask this in a different way. If she lost 26 pounds in 6 weeks on the lowest dose, could she not have lost 20 pounds on a lower dose? In 6 weeks, how much weight would you have to lose in order to be happy? If I said in the next 6 weeks, you'll lose 15 pounds by taking GLP Max, would that not be enough? Would that make this worth it? 15 pounds in 6 weeks. I think that's more than enough, more than worth it. She lost 26. And so did she really need that strong of a dose? And so let's say her dose was 50%. If she had lost 50% of that weight, 13 pounds, would that not have been enough? 13 pounds in 6 weeks with no effort, not trying, eating pizza, eating cake, candies, ice cream, whatever. She's just less hungry. That's without adding in the cookbook.
they start you at the smallest dose. So I was starting at the 2.5 milligram.
And so just so you understand this lowest dose of 2.5 milligrams, I have a significant amount of people that I'm coaching. I never let anyone start at 2.5 milligrams unless their doctor makes them. 2 milligrams, for example, for one individual, prevented them from eating for 3 days. They struggled severely. Their appetite was gone. 2 milligrams. 2.5 milligrams is a lot. I know people who are taking 0.5 milligrams. That was enough. Others, 1 milligram. And when I coach people and their doctors suggested 2.5 milligrams, this is what I said. Can you please go to your doctor as your coach is suggesting that you start at half of that dose? Ask your doctor, can I please start at 1.25 milligrams and see if that will work? The clients lost weight and they had never been able to lose weight in their life. I'm always hungry. I can't diet. They hire Coach Greg, spending thousands of dollars. And what was my advice? Use less than the doctor prescribes. And they easily lost the weight. Easily. And so when you see 2.5 milligrams, don't think, oh, it's the lowest dose you could possibly take. It's the lowest dose that pharmaceutical companies want you to take, because the higher the dose that you take, the more money they're going to make. It would be like me saying, you know what, you should all take 10 pills of Turkpiller Max each and every day. Of course, they're going to make more money. Take 10 GO2 Max pills each and every day. You're going through the bottle faster than last time, you're making more money. And so 2.5 milligrams was redonkulous. Half of that, more than enough. And so if I was you and you're not listening to a doctor, you don't have a doctor, I would suggest starting at 0.5 milligrams. You think I'm just making this video to make fun of Trisha? I'm trying to help you to understand the dangers and problems in trying to lose weight. And so 0.5 milligrams, that may be all that you need. If you're losing weight on 0.5, don't increase the dose. Does that make sense? Why are we just titrating up? And so most doctors are going to tell you to start at 2.5, and then a couple weeks later, you're going to up the dose to 5. Why are we upping the dose to 5 if 2.5 is already working? And so if Trisha had started at 0.5 and she didn't lose any weight, hey, a week or two later, I haven't lost any weight. This doesn't work. Double the dose. Go up to 1. Hey, it's still way less than the doctor would have started at. And what if at 1 milligram, oh, I'm down 2 pounds this week, then go another. You're down 2 pounds the next. Keep it going. 1 milligram, that is the sweet spot. And so even if you don't feel it the first week, it may take several weeks before it's at full strength. Please be careful. I've made other videos on people in the past. They started at the lowest dose, 2.5 milligrams. And what do you think happened? The first week they were fine. The next week they pinned another 2.5 milligrams. And by the third week they cannot eat. They're getting sick, nausea, pain, and they have to stop the drug completely. Is that what you want? And so people are abusing these medications. And so when you get prescribed this by your doctor, please ask your doctor. Say, I watched a Coach Greg video. Can I ask the doctor? Remember, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. Ask the doctor, can I start at 50%?
So the next month is June. I got to do 5 milligrams of it.
Next month is June. I now am doing 5 milligrams. I didn't watch this video in advance. I'm just watching this video. Mepsogram suggested it. She's like, oh, Trisha paid us GLP. I'll do the video. And so she upped the dose to 5. Does anyone, I mean, you're out there, school children. Remember, you used to be a school children. You used to ask the questions. Raise your hand if you think she should have upped the dose to 5 milligrams. You know, she lost 26 pounds in 6 weeks. She said after the first dose, hey, the food noise was gone. It was no problem. I was starting to feel full. Did she need to do more? I don't see any hands up because you're actually smarter than last time. You're learning.
I just feel full after 6 or 7 bites.
What did you say? What the fuck did you just say?
6 or 7 bites.
67.
Fat loss can be frustrating and elusive. You starve, you stall, and eventually the weight comes right back. I feel your pain, but there is a fix. Hi, I'm Solomon Nelson, former consultant to Jeff Nippard, and my book, Solomon's Guide to Fat Loss, is finally out.
She feels full after 6 or 7 bites. Now, if this video was about somebody who weighed, let's say, 67 pounds, 6, 7 or so, and she said, I eat about 6 or 7 bites per meal, what would you say? Would you say she needs to eat more, she's eating the right amount, or she needs to eat less? Most of you know that 6 or 7 bites, unless they're the largest bites in the world, it's not enough. And so do you believe that she is under eating? I'm asking you. And so if you were her coach, let's say Trisha hired Coach Greg, and let's say you are Coach Greg, what would you tell Trisha to do? Would you A, tell her to continue staying at 5 milligrams, or B, reduce the dose back to 2.5 milligrams? I'm allowing you to think as I would. And so seeing as she's losing 4 pounds in a week, say 2,000 calorie daily deficit, 1,000 calories per day, it's about as high as you'd ever want to go. After that, you're most likely going to lose a lot of muscle. Would you not think that it would be smarter for her to eat more bites? She's eating a 6 or 7. Let's get that up to about 12. You know, those giant bowls of bolognese, it was too much. But she should be eating at least half a bowl. And if you're eating a full bowl, in comparison to that, how much do you need to eat in order to lose weight? Anything less than the full bowl. 3/4 of the bowl. 90% you're losing weight. And so you don't need to make dramatic changes in your diet in order to lose weight. You simply need to eat less.
For me, it's nothing short of a miracle because I've never felt full in my life ever.
She's never eaten a recipe from Coach Greg Cookbook. I'm sorry. If you saw how low in calories these things are and how much food you have to eat to be full, you would understand why these diets work. Do you know how many people have come to me on the streets and lost over 100 pounds? It's in the thousands. It's hard to believe how many people I've met and they bring up, I got your cookbook and I lost 100 pounds plus. Now, oftentimes it's 30 pounds, it's 60 pounds, but it is amazing to hear how many people, and that's just people I've met. Imagine the tens of thousands of people who have bought this book and lost 100 pounds and or more. It's truly remarkable. And so if you're interested in the cookbook, it's Code Greg for 15% off.
I can't even eat another bite. That's how I feel eating a quarter of what I did before.
Remember, I haven't watched this video in advance. Remember, I just said what portion of the meal she should be eating? If she's eating a giant bowl, and I said, you know, if you eat half of that bowl, you're clearly losing weight. You're eating 3/4 of that bowl, 90% of that bowl. She's eating a quarter of what she was eating. How is this healthy? Like, I'm asking you, like, if there's the doctor following this patient, and they're monitoring them, because remember, it's a doctor that prescribes this is 2.5 milligrams. After a month, you go to 5 milligrams. The doctor say, you know, I want you to eat about a quarter of the bowl. Eat a quarter of the calories that you're eating. And so if she was eating 3,000 calories a day, a quarter of that is 750. How many people think she should be eating 750 calories a day on her diet? Do you understand why people hire Coach Greg? You underestimate, perhaps you see me doing drama videos, you don't know just how much I know about losing weight. I've done over 4,000 videos. I've been doing these videos for years. How are people in 2026 not understanding how to lose weight?
But it was me. It was me wanting to be in one position and at nighttime. And it's like, if we're going to do nighttime, don't look at me. And it's like, I don't want you to see this.
And so remember at the start of this video when she said how she loved her body, how she felt sexy and she looked beautiful. Remember, I'm not here to argue that she can't look beautiful while being obese. Not here to say that. She just said when she was trying to have sexy time with her husband, it had to be late at night and dark, and I don't want you to see this and I don't want you to see that. But now that she's losing weight, hey, check me out. And so I'm happy to see this, and it's only going to continue to improve. And so no matter how hot you think you are at 250 pounds, you're going to be hotter at 200. I'm sorry. When you lose weight, when you're morbidly obese, you have less of the morbidity part and more of the I'm not fat part, and that is more hot. If you think that being morbidly obese is hot, then you're a chubby chaser. I mean, there's people that think that feet are hot. There's people that want to get their private area stepped on by someone. There's people that think that being slapped and degraded, spit on, barfed on, shit on, pissed on is hot. And so, yeah, some people think fat women are hot. It doesn't impress me much. Who said that? Shania Twain? That don't impress me much.
That don't impress me much.
Inside, you'll learn the necessary rules for safely.
And so, just because somebody says that you're hot when you're fat, it doesn't mean shit, because some people think shitting on you is hot. I digress.
I just bought a size 14 in this skirt that I always was a size 18, 16, and then 18. Pregnancy, I was size 20. And I'm like, God, I bought a size 14 today.
You see her talking with bliss? I'm now a size 14. I was a size 16, 18, 20. I'm now a 14. And looks. She clearly thinks and knows and realizes that she now looks better. And so all this body positivity, it's bullshit. It's cope.
Instead of going to Pilates once a week, I'm doing 3 times a week Pilates.
I love how this video is unfolding. So she used to go for walks and did Pilates. Now we find out the Pilates was once a week. Pilates ain't doing all that much if it's once a week. And these walks, how far were these walks? A kilometer? Oh, I walked for a kilometer once in a while and I did Pilates and I didn't lose weight. Now she's doing Pilates 3 times a week. And why? Because she has more energy. Why? Because she weighs less. Do you know how much easier it is to do cardio, to do exercise when you're not morbidly obese, when you're actually fit? And trust me, it's going to improve. It's going to keep getting better. Because when you progressive overload your cardio, like for example, when I did my first bike ride, I went out for 15 minutes. I was 220 pounds, a little bit fat. I was a bodybuilder taking steroids. And I thought, you know, I need to make a change. I used to do triathlons. I've lost it. 15 minutes and my legs were sore. Now I'm riding for hours. Guys, if you continue to do cardio, it will get easier. You'll become a better butter burner. Have you ever heard that term coined by Covert Bailey? He wrote the book Fit or Fat. I read it in high school. And so if you do the cardio, you're going to be better at burning calories, and you'll probably burn double the calories in the same length of time, and it will be easy to stay lean. You think I have to watch how many calories I'm eating? I have to watch how many calories I'm not eating. I have to eat more than I want not to lose weight. That is the life when you can do cardio.
I feel like I haven't changed that much. Like my lifestyle, okay, maybe I don't like the processed foods. Maybe I'm not eating like cake and cookies at night, which I was during her ice cream or something like that. You know what I mean?
And so you notice that she doesn't notice much of a lifestyle change. And so she's like, how did I lose that much weight? And so it's just proof in the pudding, if you will, that people don't know how much they're actually eating. She's like, well, I haven't really changed anything and I've lost all this weight. She's cut out about 2,000 calories a day from her diet. She's eating a quarter of the food that she's eating, but she doesn't really feel like anything's changed. And so that just shows if you are in fact obese, morbidly obese, you probably think, no, I just eat like everyone else. I probably eat the same amount of calories. I probably eat 2,000 calories. Meanwhile, you're eating 4,000. You don't even know it.
I love that it's not a one size fits all. So while a Zepbound quick pen works for me, that can go up to like, I believe 15 milligrams.
You hear that, guys? She can go up to 15 milligrams. Imagine needing 15 milligrams when 2.5 was this effective, and 5, it's even more.
They do a check-in after your month doses are up and see where you're at and kind of give you a recommendation on where to go for that.
I like how they do a check-in after a month. And with her, the recommendation was up the dose to 5. Now, I would suggest you go to AlgoRx. I believe that the doctors at AlgoRx are not going to steer you blind. I would trust these doctors greater than most. Let's put it at that.
Really in my 30s and my married life and stuff, in my touring life, I always felt really good.
Now, she felt good, but not great. Clearly, we've proven this. She's lost some weight, and now she feels she looks better.
You're enough. I want you to know that you are enough exactly as you are. When the time's right, whenever you feel like, if you want to make a change, you can make that change.
Enough with the bullshit and the coddling and the you are enough and no, you're not. How are you enough? If you are enough, why are you losing weight? Because you want to be more. If you were enough, you wouldn't need to be more. You'd be plenty. And so you're not enough. Do better. Like, why are you still watching this video? You're trying to learn. You're trying to lose weight. You're trying to educate yourself because you're not enough. You need to do better. You need to do more. You need to try harder than last time. Can you be better today than you were yesterday? Better tomorrow than you were today? That is what life is about. Stop settling on shit. I mean, even if you're at the top echelon, the best human in the world, you can still aim for more. You can still aim for better, because once you're complacent, what would life be then like? I suggest you do more, you do better, you be better.
I started living life for me, and it's been wonderful. It's like I look good. I look good.
Yeah, a bunch of yapping. I'm happy, I'm sexy, but yet when she loses weight, she's more happy. And when she loses weight, she's more sexy. Do you see the difference? And so, yeah, if you're satisfied with mediocrity, stay obese. Stay morbidly obese. You're perhaps a 5 out of 10. You think a 5 out of 10, it's a 9. You're like, yeah, my life is great. Then you lose 50 pounds. You're like, wait a minute, my life is now a 7. I can move around more, play with my kids more, live longer. I look better. And then you lose another 50 pounds, and you're like, now it's a 9. And so don't think that you're as happy as you can get. Always strive for greatness.
Esthetician places, right? $400 for one shot is crazy.
And so rather than going to these places that are $400 a shot, why not go to AlgoRx? Significantly cheaper than that. It's exceptionally cheap. Compare the prices to, for example, Merrick Health. I would suggest you price shop and go and find the cheapest source that's selling legitimate pharmaceutical compounds, not some research chemical bullshit where you don't know what you're actually getting, something that you can trust. And so AlgoRx, code Greg for your discount. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo for AlgoRx. Please go there. Obviously, watch one of those 2 bloops. If you want to get sponsored, if you want to get coached by myself and my team, or if you want to carry my supplements into your stores and or gyms, that's the link for you. And until next time, I am out.